What's up, everybody? Brother Sin coming at you on a special birthday edition of Beyond the Truth. Yes, it is January 17th, which means it is my birthday. The most important, the most celebrated, the most impactful day of this and any calendar year. The day of my birth. So thank you. Thank you very much. Just wanted to come at you for a few minutes today with a few key points that I have accumulated in my 37 years. A few words of wisdom, bits of knowledge, some insight into what I believe makes a life. First, despite what popular convention will tell you or the complaints you hear from people, you absolutely can outwork and outhustle any circumstance or situation. Don't let the media or anyone else tell you otherwise. My father is living proof. Raised in poverty, separated from his family, shuffled through foster homes, tragedy after tragedy. He survived. He thrived. He built a life for us that was superb. So do not ever let your circumstance or your situation dictate your future. If you want something bad enough and you believe in yourself, it can be done, no matter what. Doesn't matter if you're from the poorest rural farm in Kansas or the most gang-ridden, violent project in East New York. You can achieve, you can do and accomplish anything you want to in this life if you're willing to put in the work. Bottom line. However, you cannot and will not outluck the lack of hard work or preparation. Like the old No Fear t-shirt slogan says, luck is when hard work meets opportunity, period. But you cannot go through life expecting to chance into something, to stumble into the perfect opportunity. You cannot outluck a lack of hard work, period. And because of that, get rid of the mindset that this new generation has of entitlement. The entitlement mindset is crushing our society. No one deserves anything. No one should expect to have anything handed to them for nothing. Everything must be earned. Nothing is given. Once we can train the new generation to start believing this the way that our fathers did, the way that my generation does, we will once again return to that strong, productive society, to that strong, productive nation that the world has revered for many, many years. Remember that. No one deserves anything. If you want something, work for it. And as Rocky told his son Robert in the cinematic classic Rocky Balboa, if you know what you're worth, go out and get what you're worth. Period. Like Lincoln Hawk tells his son in the all-time cinematic masterpiece classic, maybe the greatest Stallone movie of all time, the 1987 hit Over the Top. The world meets nobody halfway. So if you want something, go out and get it. However, understand, sometimes in life, there are things that we have to do before we get to do what we want to do. Do not graduate college and expect to walk right into the six-figure C-level job or into that successful business ownership or whatever it might be. Sometimes you have to put in the sweat equity, the grunt work, get your hands dirty doing something that you don't want to do while you're paying the price, while you're biding the time until opportunity arises. You're going to have to work jobs. You're going to have to do things that you don't want to do until you find the opportunity to do what you want to do. You have to earn your opportunities. Remember that. Sometimes in life, we must do what needs to be done before we get to do what we want to be done. Period. And you're not going to succeed at everything, people. Remember that. 37 years, I have learned that time and time and time again. Like Michael Jordan once said in that famous quote, "The reason I'm so successful is because I have failed as many times in life as I have succeeded, if not many times more." But you keep coming back, you learn from your failures, and you improve. But you keep coming back. Every failure you go through is an opportunity for future success. That's something that I train people in the sales business. No's are okay. Every no brings you one step closer to the next yes. So remember, every failure is an opportunity for learning and an opportunity for future success. And another important thing that I have learned in my life, a lesson that I try and will continue to try and teach my children, and that I hope that you all teach your children, and I'm sure it's a lesson that many of you have learned over the years. Be careful who you look up to. Be careful who your heroes are, because heroes are rarely ever what they seem. Unless you're talking about my father. A true saint, a man without noticeable flaw, a salt of the earth, good Christian family man. That's a hero. But I digress. I've learned this many times, and as the internet is becoming more prevalent, information, you learn things about people that you spent a childhood worshiping. Joe Montana, one of my huge childhood idols. And you learn the guy's kind of an asshole. Doesn't like to cooperate with people. They had a Super Bowl a few years back where they had all the quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame, all the Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. At halftime, 2 people weren't there. Terry Bradshaw, because I believe he had a legitimate family commitment with a daughter, and Joe Montana, who expected money to show up. With every other quarterback in the Hall of Fame was there, he was the only one that refused because he wanted money. What an a-hole. And my other major childhood hero, Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time. I'm sorry, LeBron, you're good, you've got stats, you've won titles. You're not Michael Jordan. You will never be Michael Jordan. But at the end of the day, I don't think you really want to be. We are learning more and more about the depravity, the asshole, the dark side of who Michael Jordan really was. Things that I'd rather not know as a fan, as someone who spent their childhood worshiping number 23, wearing the Bulls starter jacket, the posters, the t-shirts, the hats, longing for the shoes, which we could never afford, so I never had them. But just putting the man up on a pedestal, watching every single game on WGN, on my little 9-inch black and white TV in my bedroom, every Chicago Bulls game on, from 1987 through the late 90s. I worshiped the man, and now I find out he is certainly not worthy of my idolatry or my appreciation. He played well on the court, but off the court, not someone I would ever want my children looking up to. So be careful who you choose as heroes. Be careful who you look up to. Except for Chael P. I gotta admit, the man was nice as can be. I've met him, I've talked to him. He lived up to every expectation I had and couldn't be nicer. When I communicate with him to this day, man, he couldn't be a better guy. So that's one for the good column. Never be embarrassed about who you are or what you like. I can be seen as a bit of a meathead. People probably have thought that about me for years. But you know what? I don't care. I've always been into weights. I've been a power lifter. I was a wrestler, for crying out loud, with the ears and the singlets and the rolling around. A lot of people look on that as being ridiculous. That's a passion for me. Fighting is a passion for me. Never be embarrassed what you like. I bring this up because I've got family members, people in my extended family, who have made a big deal about the things that my wife and I like, the things that we do, the things that we follow, the people that we've named our son after, to the point where it angers me. But I'm letting that go. But never be embarrassed. I would not for a second ever regret enjoying the things that I enjoy, or following the things that I do, or participating in the hobbies that I do, because other people see them as lowbrow or low class or whatever other label somebody may want to put on them. Be proud of what you like and who you are, regardless of what it might be. If you're a 240-pound man that listens to this show and likes to bedazzle jeans in your spare time, have at it, man, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Be proud of who you are and what you like to do. As far as those people judging me for what we like to do and for who we've named our son after, well, I've got a few words for you, but that's a different conversation. And I've learned, no matter what struggles you're going through in life, no matter what stresses or what situations, two things can help you regardless of circumstance. The warm embrace of someone who truly cares about you, the holding of a hand, the caring hug. There's few things in the world that will ease tension better than being hugged by someone that truly cares about you, letting you know that you are not alone. And number two is laughter. If you can find a way to laugh through the pain, through the stress, through the misery, through whatever it is that's going on in your world, you will feel better. It won't fix the problem, it won't solve your issues, but at least temporarily you will feel better. Laughter, just the act of smiling, creates a flow of endorphins through your body. You will feel better. It's one of the reasons I am such a huge stand-up comedy fan. I have two passions in my life outside of my family: fighting and martial arts, and stand-up comedy. We all know I've traveled all around the country watching fights. I still do. I follow Chael around, try to catch his fights. But I've also done that for comedy. I've go to events at theaters locally. I've gone to New York to see comedy shows. I've gone out to LA to visit the Comedy Store, the birthplace of, some great stand-up comedy. That's my other passion. Because laughter makes me feel good. It makes my heart feel good. So laugh more often. Try and worry less. And hug someone when you're down. If you can do those things, every day will get just a little bit better. So those are just a few minute things that I have learned in my 37 years on this planet. They're not groundbreaking. They're not earth-shattering. They're not Gary V level inspiration. They're just some things that I believe that I wanted to share with you on this, my day, my birthday, the greatest day of the calendar year. So with that, I'm out.